Live is on, everybody. I know this is a time that people are not expecting it to be live, but we're in a special situation, in a different special location, so we're doing a live at a different time. So if y'all are in here, we make sure this live is on Facebook. I think we are on Facebook. Let's make sure we on IG. If we on IG, y'all go ahead and leave I don't know what's going on in the comment section here. Comments is showing up, then disappearing. IG done changed up the format here, so sometimes it's letting you, so it's making the comments come and then disappear. So as y'all checking in, wherever you checking in at, shout yourself out in the comment section. I don't know what Instagram got going on here. All right, so they didn't change the format up on me. All right, so Winking's NEJ, what's going on? As y'all checking in, tell me where you checking in from. Shout yourself out, tell me where you checking in from. We're gonna get started in like 10 seconds. If you're on Facebook, you can shout yourself out in the comment section on Facebook and on Periscope. We got Periscope on the left, Facebook on the middle, Instagram on the right. So if wherever you checking in at, shout yourself out. We're going to get into this in 10 seconds. I'm going to give everybody 10 seconds. We're going to get to this. This is usually a time we usually sleep. But again, I'm on the road right now. I'm in State College, Pennsylvania. If you ain't been following my story on Instagram or on Facebook today, that's where I'm at. So go to if you're not on Instagram right now, Instagram at Dre Baldwin. You can see my story, see what's going on. There's going to be more going on coming up. But anyway, Portland, Oregon is in the house. What's going on? Cameroon is in the house. So as y'all are checking in, introduce myself. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I created this whole philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. It's about taking the mental tools necessary to succeed in sports and teaching how those tools apply in business and in life. Now, what we're talking about here today is I'm going to give you some principles. I call this just principles. I mean, these are not for any specific type of person. This is not for any specific area of life. Anyone who's listening to this, doesn't matter what you do, where you're from, what you got going on, what you used to do, what you're about to do, what you're thinking about doing, you will be able to apply these principles. That's what the Work on Your Game philosophy is about. That's why we have such a wide audience. We got people who are athletes, we have students, we have doctors, we have teachers, we have parents, we got people who are in transition, we got people who are just trying to figure themselves out and figure out what they're going to do, people who have retired, people who are just getting started, because the principles that this whole philosophy is about, the principles that we talk about here, Work on Your Game, they apply to every aspect of life, different stages of life, and different people, no matter where you're going or where you're coming from. Now, we do get granular as well when we get into certain topics, but these principles I'm going to share here, I'm going to give you 5 today, and I'm going to give you 5 in the next live that I do. These can apply to anything you got going on. So Massachusetts was good. Houston, Texas, who was in here? What's going on? Anybody who got a question, I will address all questions and comments at the end of the live if they are related to the topic. Now, if your comment or question has nothing to do with the topic, then I'm not addressing it. As long as it got something to do with the topic, we'll get into it. So anyway, let's get right into these principles. I'm gonna give you each one. I'm gonna explain why I'm giving you this principle. And these principles are not gonna be things that you may have normally heard from other people. Even if they are, the reason why is gonna be different from what you heard anywhere else. That's why we got what we have here at Work on Your Game. So let's get right into this. I'll explain it and I'll explain how you can apply it. First principle, too much confidence can be a problem. If you don't know how to control your confidence, you believe in yourself a little bit too much. If you got a whole bunch of belief, but not a lot of skill, you have more belief than you have skill, this is when you get arrogance, this is when you get overconfidence, this is when you get cockiness, this is when you can get yourself in trouble. However, even though too much confidence can be a problem, a lack of confidence will completely destroy you. A lack of confidence is fatal. So if you're going to make a mistake when it comes to confidence, comparing the two outcomes, if you go too far in confidence, you can get in trouble, you can mess up, you can go too far, you can find yourself in over your head. But if you don't have enough confidence, if you lack confidence, that'll completely destroy you. You may not even get a chance to mess up. You won't even get a chance to show your game and do your thing or find out what you're missing when you have a lack of confidence. A lack of confidence will destroy your opportunities before they are even born, okay? So if you're going to make a mistake on confidence, since we all are human and nobody's going to be perfect, I don't believe in there being a quote-unquote perfect balance when it comes to the way that you believe in yourself. I believe that you should take your confidence to as high as possible level and then take it 10 levels higher than that and just see what happens. Now, you might be afraid of doing that. You might think that, that can get you in trouble. You might think it might, piss people off or put people off, or, they might not feel you because of the way you're conducting yourself. But I say, just try it out and let's see how it goes. Before you decide that something's not going to work for you, you at least got to try it out and see that it doesn't work. All right, tell me what kind of results you got from doing that. If you don't have any results because you never actually did it, then you shouldn't be condemning it. You shouldn't be not trying it, especially if a person who wrote a book on confidence and did 2 TED Talks on confidence, like me, is telling you, take it as high as it goes and let's just see what happens. Now, if you take it there and it ends up terrible for you, then you can come and report that back to me, and then we can make adjustments from there. But first of all, you got to give it a shot. Too much confidence, try it out. All right. In life, the reason why I'm saying this, in life, you usually raise your skill and your achievements and your accomplishments can go no higher than your level of self-belief. Now, self-belief, confidence is defined as your belief in your ability to do something. All right, if you don't believe you can go above a level 7.5, your achievements are not going to go above a 7.5. And that would require you to be perfect. You would need to be 100% capacity to get to a 7.5. That's your belief of 7.5. And since all of us as humans are usually not at 100% capacity because we are imperfect, maybe you can get to 80% of that. But if you believe that you can get up to a 15, now at least you opened up your capacity. Your potential is now up there at a 15 instead of a 7.5. Now, does that mean you want to get there? Not necessarily. You had to be perfect to get there. Is anybody out here perfect? Probably not. But even if you come up short, you end up maybe at a 12 instead of that 7.5 that you would have had to be perfect to get to with a lower level of confidence. I am a firm believer that nobody is able to, in the long run, achieve above your level of self-belief. And there are plenty of metaphors that people use to describe this. But even if your confidence is at this level right here, let's say your confidence is at a level 7, and you somehow achieve at a level 10, and you realize that you're at a level 10, even though your confidence is at a 7, you know what eventually is going to happen? You are going to what some people call self-sabotage, so that you lower yourself from that 10 back down to the 7, the level at which you are comfortable. Now, if your confidence is at a 7, your belief is at a 7, but your performance is at a 4, one of 2 things is going to happen. You got 2 options here. You will either, A, raise your level of performance to match up to what you see yourself as. So you'll go from a 4 up to a 7 to match up what you believe. Or here's the other thing that you'll do. Your level of belief will go down to match the level of performance that you're at. So you'll go from that 7 back down to the 4. Now you may be thinking, well, Dre, what if my belief is a 7, but my performance is at a 10? Is it possible I could bring my belief up to that 10? Yes, you can, but it is much easier to bring your belief down than it is to bring the belief up. So yes, it is possible that you could perform above your level and then bring your confidence up there to match it, but you don't have as much time. All right, and it doesn't happen as easily. So what I suggest is you get the confidence up first, then you get the performance to go behind it. Like I tell y'all all the time, it is the be, do, have principle. You believe it. You believe it in your mind. You're being it as your energy and your thoughts. Then you go take the actions, and then you get the results. That's the process in which things usually work. Now, if you try to break that process and do it a different way, good luck. All right, but don't say that you weren't told the right way that it's done. Second principle. And today I'm just giving you 10 principles. I'm giving you the first 5 today. I'll give you the next 5 tomorrow. Number 2, ask at least twice for everything that you want in life. Ask at least twice. Now, how many times do you think the average person asks for the things that they want in life? And I'll be clear and let you know that when I say ask, I don't necessarily mean you go to a person and say, hey, can you give me $1? Or can I get hired for this job? Or, whatever it is you want to ask for. I don't mean necessarily you have to explicitly verbally ask for something. What I mean when I say ask, I mean, how often do you think people even take an action towards something that they want? Because every action that you take is an ask. Right? You go to the gym, you're asking to be in shape. You go run 10 miles, you're asking to get your heart in better cardiovascular fitness level. Whatever you do, you are asking for the result that comes from that action. How often do you think the average person asks for anything? The answer is, I'm going to give it to you, it's between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1. Because most people don't try things at all. They think about doing something. They think about, hey, maybe I can get in shape. And then they don't do it. They think about, hey, maybe I can start a business. Then they don't do it. They think, maybe, you know what, maybe I could write a book. Then they don't actually ever write one word to that book. So they think about it and never do it. So those are the people at the 0 times to try. And that dream just dies with them. And then there are the people who they actually do something. They get motivated, they get hyped up, they move themselves to action, and they try one time. Maybe they try to write something. They try to go to the gym for a week or a month or something like that. Maybe they try to do some things to get themselves started, whatever they want to do. They don't get a whole lot of initial results because they don't know what they're doing yet. They don't have the skill yet. They don't have the information. And then after that one time of things not working, which they probably won't, what do? They give up. They never try again. So this is why most people in life, it's just an aggregate, we take everybody in the world, how many times do they try things that they really want? It's somewhere between 0 and 1. So what I'm telling you here, this second principle is ask at least twice for everything that you want. You will clearly, easily separate yourself from everybody else out there on the planet by asking at least twice, meaning make at least 2 attempts to get yourself in shape. Make at least 2 attempts to start writing that book that you've been talking about writing. Make at least 2 attempts to go ask that girl or that guy out that you're interested in dating, whatever the situation is. At least 2 times. At least 2 times take the action. At least 2 times go talk to somebody. At least 2 times make it a concerted effort to get to the outcome you want to get to. And when I say ask twice, that doesn't necessarily mean go to the gym 2 days in a row. It means commit yourself to 6 months straight of working out. And if it doesn't work the first time, try it at least one more time, because you probably going to have some more information. You probably have some activity knowledge. You'll probably know what mistakes you made last time that you can fix this time. At least 2 times try for everything that you want. First of all, it will separate you from everybody else out there who tries between 0 and 1 times. And second of all, the second time that you go through, you're going to have a whole lot more information, and you'll probably get a lot more results than you got the first time. And when you start getting results, all of us being human, when you get results, you are encouraged. You're encouraged to keep trying. You're encouraged to keep going. You're encouraged to give it more effort. So try at least 2 times for everything that you want in life. Everybody got that? Good. Point number 3. Today I'm giving you life principles. I'm giving you 10. I'm giving you 5 today, 5 tomorrow. Third principle, he who has begun is half done. Once you have started something, you are already halfway to finishing it. Actually, it's even more than halfway to finishing it once you get something started. Because what I just told you, most people in life, they think their way out of what they want. They ask themselves in their mind, can I do this? And before they actually take some action to find out, they tell themselves in their mind, no, I can't. Then they end up doing nothing, and that's pretty much their life. Right? They don't get the result. They think about it. The result dies in their mind. Either they completely forget about it, or they physically die with the idea still in their mind and never actually get it out of them. May have been great at it had they actually followed through, but they never followed through, so they don't get anything done. Those who at least get started on something, you are at least halfway to the finish line because you got started, because you've actually taken some action, because you've taken some steps, because you made a plan, because you went and talked to the trainer at the gym about going to their boot camp class for the next 6 months, because you went to the library or the Amazon and you got those books about the business that you want to start or the job that you want to get or the company that you want to put together, because you actually started taking action, because you are afraid to start putting videos on TikTok, but you went and actually recorded a couple and posted them. Now you're halfway there. Now you see how it works. Now you know how it goes. Now you know what kind of results you can get. Now you know that you can actually do it. You're not psyching yourself out of it anymore. You are further ahead than a whole bunch of people who thought about it, but haven't done it. I'm sure there are many of you out here with whatever it is that you do. Whenever you probably come across people, when you ask them, when they ask you about things that you do or what you're interested in, and you mention something that you do. If you make YouTube videos, or you have a podcast, or you own a business, or you have children, or you are in great shape, and you talk to somebody who wants that thing in their life. They want to be in shape. They want to write a book. They want to have a business. They want to have children. They want to do whatever it is that you're doing that they think is interesting. They want to start a YouTube channel. And they hear about it. How many times have you heard somebody say, man, I thought about doing that. I thought about starting a business too. I really want to write a book. I want to have kids. I want to have a relationship like you have. I want to do thing X that you're doing. I want to represent what you represent, thing X, Y, Z. I want that same thing in my life too. All of you have probably heard somebody say that before. And why are they just talking about doing it and not doing it? Because obviously it can be done. You're right there in front of them, letting them know it can be done. Because most people think themselves out of things. And you probably heard many more people say, I thought about doing the thing that you do. And you heard somebody say, no, I do the same thing. Maybe you have a community. I mean, if you're in a certain community of people where everybody's done that exact same thing, well, yes, sure, everybody's going to have done it. But I'm talking about an aggregate in life. There are many more people who thought about doing what you do than there are people who have actually done what you do. Unless it is, of course, you haven't done much. Now, if you have not accomplished much in your life, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who have accomplished things and those who want to continue to accomplish. There are plenty of people out there thinking about it who haven't done what you've done. So give yourself some credit for the fact that you got started and maybe even completed. Maybe even you got finished doing that thing, or at least getting started with that thing, because most people never get to that point. So once you get started on something and put your feet on the ground and actually put some skin in the game, put some time in, put some money, some attention, some energy, some investment. Those are the 5 forms of investment and focus, rather. Time, money, attention, energy, focus. 5 forms of investment. That's masterclass number 609. Point number 4. Topic here today, I'm giving you 10 life principles. Today, I'll give you the first 5. Tomorrow, I'll give you the next 5. Number 4. Persistence can be your only talent that will allow you to get very damn close to the top. Persistence can be your only talent to get you really, really, really close to the top. Now, I want to be clear about something. This whole philosophy here is called work on your game. And one thing that you do need to have in order to achieve in life is you need to have some skill / talent / ability / know-how. Like, you have to actually be able to produce a result. Persistence and believing in yourself and determination and hard work alone are good enough to get you very close to an outcome, but they will not get you to the top of where you want to be. They'll get you close to the top, maybe, depending on who you're competing against. It won't get you all the way to the top, especially if we're talking about at the professional level. You have to have some skill. Hard work and determination is cool and it's cute when you're an amateur, and you can probably beat out a whole bunch of amateurs with just skill and determination and grit and maybe a little bit of luck and timing. But when you get to the pro level, you got to have some skill. You got to have some skill too. You got to have some talent. You got to have some ability. You got to have something proprietary that other people you're competing against don't have. If you don't have that, skill and determination, if that's all you got, you're probably in the wrong line of work if you're trying to make a profession out of it. Now, if you're doing it for fun, determination, hard work is good enough. Persistence, well, here's my point here. When you are really persistent, when you just refuse to give up and you keep working hard and you are getting the information and you're iterating, you're making changes based on knowledge that you're acquiring, trying to get to a certain outcome, if you do that long enough and hard enough, you can and will produce results for yourself. That can be quote unquote enough, but you must stick to it and you must do it consistently, and you got to do it as a process, and it has to be like clockwork. People have to know. You first of all have to know, and when you're doing it like clockwork, other people will start to see you as that type of individual. Their confidence in you will increase your confidence in you. Your abilities will rise. You'll start to get more results, and you can get really good. You can get really close. You can smell the top from that point with just persistence alone. So persistence is not something to be sneezed at, but once you have figured out, rather, not even decided, but figured out how to lock into persistence, now find a place where you can apply that persistence in which you also have some talent. When you combine persistence and determination and hard work and all that with talent, that's when you get serious results in your life. Everybody follow what I just said? Persistence and hard work, determination, motivation, all that rah-rah stuff, combine that with talent and skill and being in the right place at the right time, meaning having the right skills for the right industry and the right people. That's when you get magic. All right, do not take persistence and apply it to somewhere where you have no talent. The best you will be is maybe you'll become mediocre if you're a really, really, really hard worker. And if you get lucky, because if there's enough talent around you and you're really persistent, you'll still like a bum no matter how hard you work. Point number 5. Topic here today is I'm giving you 10 principles. I'm giving you 5 of them today. I'll give you 5 tomorrow. This is the last one I'll give you today. Number 5 is release the damn emergency brake. Anybody know what that is? What I mean when I say release the emergency brake. Anybody here drove a car with, nowadays most cars have the emergency brake is kind of like electronic nowadays. But there used to be, for those of you who are old enough, there used to be cars where the emergency brake was this lever that you pulled actually on the car. You pulled this thing up, and that was the emergency brake. So for anybody who lived somewhere, like if you parked your car on a hill or any kind of incline, whether it was pointing up or pointing down, pointing up or pointing down, you put the emergency brake on to make sure your car didn't roll away, right? Nowadays, since emergency brake is electronic, this principle isn't exactly the same metaphor. But for those of you who remember, any of you ever tried to drive your car and you forgot to release the emergency brake? What happens? Now, if you put your car in drive, the emergency brake is still engaged, and you just put it in drive, the car is probably not going to move. But if you press on the gas pedal, the car will move. You can let a car drive Bell, you said you got a car with the emergency brake, the lever, the manual emergency brake. All right, shout out to people who had the cars with the manual emergency brake. If you press on the pedal hard enough, the car will move. The problem is there's going to be so much friction that the car is not going to go as fast or as far as it could go. Now, usually if your brakes are any good and you have that emergency brake on, you're going to realize, all right, something's wrong with my car here. You probably hit the brake pedal. You realize the emergency brake's on. You release the emergency brake. Now, when you let go of the emergency brake, put your car in drive, you don't even have to tap on the gas pedal. You just let the car go. Just in cruise mode, the car will move forward. Just because you are in a mentality, if y'all follow my metaphor here, extending the metaphor, when you're in the mentality of forwardness, a mentality of drive, of advancing, you don't even have to press on the gas pedal for yourself to move forward as long as your emergency brake is released. So what do I mean when I say the emergency brake? The emergency brake is the mental mechanism within all of us where we know we want to move forward. I mean, you're in a vehicle. You don't get in the car just to sit there most of the time, right? Sometimes you get in the car to make a call or to get some privacy because there's too many people in the house. Most of the time when you get in the car, you want to go somewhere, right? We don't get in our car just to sit there and not do anything. We get in the car because there's somewhere that we want this vehicle to take us. This vehicle called life, this vehicle called our talent, this vehicle called your goals or your drive or whatever you want to call it, your why. That's a vehicle. You get in that vehicle to go somewhere, but if there's an emergency brake on that says, yeah, I want to do this thing, but I don't want to run into this problem along the way. Like I want to build a business or I want to get a great job and make a whole lot of money. But if I make a whole lot of money, then I got to pay a lot in taxes. And then somebody might try to sue me. And then I'm going to have family wanting to get money from me. And it's going to be too much of a headache. That's an emergency brake. That is an emergency brake that causes people to self-sabotage and never actually get to their goal. Another one is somebody who's never lifted weights before. And maybe you've heard somebody use this, any of you who go to the gym often. Somebody who's never lifted weights before, they say, you know, I want to start lifting weights, so I want to get in shape, but I don't want to be this big muscle man. Or a woman might say something like, well, I don't want to lift too much weight because then I'll look like a man because I lifted weights too much. But the girl has no muscle tone, no definition whatsoever because she's never even been inside a gym, but she's worried about looking like a man from lifting too much weight. Like, how about you get a little bit of muscle tone in your arms first before you worry about looking like a man? This is what a lot of people do though. And that emergency brake stops that person from ever setting foot in the gym or ever starting a business or ever trying to even make money because they're already mentally telling themselves all the problems that come with the success. And they're allowing those thoughts of those problems, the problems that don't even actually exist yet, they're allowing their thoughts of the problems and their fears of these imaginary problems to stop them from going forward as fast or as smoothly or as efficiently or as urgently as they could. And this is what a lot of people spend their whole lives doing, living their life with an emergency brake on. And then they wonder why they have all the skills, they have all the determination, they're doing all the right things. They seemingly have the right ideas and they have the right information, right everything, yet they're still not getting as close to their goals as they thought they would be by this point. Why is this? It is because they have a mental emergency brake on that is slowing them down. The car is moving, you are moving forward, but it's moving forward so slowly and so tentatively and so haltingly. There's always something slowing you down that you don't realize what the problem is, or you're really frustrated, or you know what the problem is, yet you just can't stop yourself from continually making the same mistake over and over and over again. I'm gonna help you out with all of that, but this is one of the biggest principles that once people understand this and you allow yourself to release the emergency brake, you can get to your results quicker. And that result might not always be some great success. It might be something that you realize, you know what, this is the wrong thing. This is the wrong vehicle. I'm in the wrong car, and that's all right to realize that you're in the wrong car. You want to realize that you're in the wrong car within like 5 minutes. You don't want to wait 5 years to realize you're in the wrong vehicle and then say, damn, I shouldn't have did this. I should have did this instead. You should figure that out quickly. You want to figure that out much faster than most people do. Most people live their whole lives not realizing that they're in the wrong vehicle. Then they get to the end of their life when time has run out and they're like, oh, I was in the wrong vehicle the whole time. All right, you want to find that out quick. And the quickest way to find that out is to drive the car fast. You can't drive a car fast if you have the emergency brake on. Again, unless your brakes are completely non-functioning. And you probably don't want to drive fast if your brakes don't work because at some point you're going to need to stop. All that being said, I don't even have my book, Mirror Motivation, with me. I didn't even bring a copy with me. I'm traveling right now. But for those of you who don't know, I have a book called The Mirror of Motivation. I'm about to pull up the webpage right now so I can show it to y'all. This is a physical book. that I'm going to ship to you free. And I'm going to tell you about this book, then I'm going to recap my points, and I'm going to answer questions, okay? This is a physical book. Here's the webpage, mirrorofmotivation.com. That's just the headline that you're looking at right here. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. In this book, I got the bullet points here to tell you exactly what you're going to get in this book. But let me tell you what this book is about. Now, here's a picture of it so everybody can see it. In life, everybody has goals. They have things that they want to achieve. You have things that you know to achieve your outcomes. There are certain things that you need to do. The problem is, even though you're working really hard, and because you have goals like we just talked about, you're not really getting there. And the reason why you're not getting there is because you never ask yourself a key question: who do I need to be? Who do I need to be as a person? The answer to that question is covered in my book, The Mirror of Motivation. And it's not me telling you what type of person you need to be. It is me giving you the frameworks for you to start being the type of person you need to be. And the way that you're going to get that is by looking in the mirror. That's why the book is called The Mirror of Motivation. And again, the book is paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. You get the book at mirrorofmotivation.com. Mirrorofmotivation.com. It is the link at the bottom of this IG video, under Facebook, and in the title here on Periscope, mirrorofmotivation.com. All you do is cover the shipping. The book's paid for. We send it to you worldwide. Yes, it is a physical book anywhere that you live. And we got different options. If you like the digital, you like the audio, all of that. We got bundles, all of those things. Mirrorofmotivation.com. All that being said, let me recap these 5 points, these life principles that I gave you here today. I gave you 5 today. I'm going to give you 5 more tomorrow. And then I'm going to address the comments. Point number 1, too much confidence can be a problem. Yes, but a lack of confidence is fatal. So if you're going to make a mistake, you're better off going too far than not going far enough. Number 2, ask at least twice for everything that you want in life. Most people only ask once, or they ask 0 times. This is why they never achieve anything. Point number 3, he who has begun is half done. Most people think about doing things, never actually get started doing them. Once you put your feet on the floor and start investing in what you want in life, time, money, attention, energy, focus, you are already half 90% of people. Number 4, persistence can be your only talent and get you damn close to the top. However, do not think persistence alone is the only thing that you need. You need persistence plus some talent and skill. That is when you make magic and you create real success. And number 5, release the emergency brake. You cannot take your vehicle where you really want it to get to, not in any reasonable amount of time, if you're driving with the emergency brake on. Release the brake, stop holding yourself back mentally, and go forward as fast as you can. You might be in the wrong place in the wrong vehicle, but you'll find out sooner if you release the brake and just let yourself go. Now let me address any questions that we got here in the comment section. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section. Make sure it is short, to the point, and relevant to the topic of what we are talking about here today. For those who don't know me, again, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. So this is Bell Floor 2020. Was good. Houston, Texas. Steve said, I have created a sportive mark, TTR. I don't know what TTR is. You want to send me a shirt? Winking Snedge, Winkings SNEJ. Send an email or just send me a DM. And I'll tell you where you can send a shirt. Savage says, when I was fucked up, the only advice they gave me was, that's crazy. Heard to work on your game and never looked back. Well, that's perfect. Glad you heard to work on your game. I don't know what advice you were getting from other people, but the advice that I gave, whatever you got from me, hopefully it's helped you a lot. So that's excellent to hear. Ethan W. was going on. Bell said they ask in their mind. Yeah, exactly. What I was talking about at that point. JFC Visuals was going on. It's BGT. Persistence is the foundation of growth. That was one of them, absolutely. Absolutely one of them. Hoop Rowdy was going on. Bell says, I have one, won't go. Yeah, y'all got it right with that emergency brake. Baller Hog says, I have a 2017 push to start and it still has the manual emergency brake. Okay, well, I guess I'm out of touch. I didn't know cars still had the manual emergencies. All right, shout out to everybody who got the manual emergency brake. No, I haven't had one in a while. I thought they went away, but I guess they did. Bell said, you do the butt, you got the emergency brake. Well, when you get that, I think you said you got the books on the way, so once you start reading them, we're going to take care of that quick. Jack checking in from South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. Ago 9aphobia was good. Craig Blanco, what's going on? BGT So in a different car doesn't mean change your mentality. No, the vehicle means what you're using to get to your success. That's what I mean when I say vehicle. So for example, some people use a rapper's vehicle is music. A dancer's vehicle is dance. A teacher's vehicle is education. Entrepreneur's vehicle is starting a business. That's what I mean when I say vehicle. Different vehicle is trying something different. So you might decide when you're 15, you might think you're going to the NBA, but then when you turn 19, you realize that you probably won't make it to the NBA because you're only 5'7". So you change your mind. You decide to do music instead. Maybe that's your new vehicle. And maybe music doesn't work out. When you're 22, you change your vehicle to starting a company, and maybe that's the vehicle that works out. But you want to put all of what you have into that vehicle that you're trying, so you can find out if it's going to work or not. So if you decide you want to try to be a musician, you got to invest in being a musician so you can find out, is this music thing really going to work? If you only go halfway in, you won't get enough information and enough time to realize or to find out whether this is going to work or not. Because you're going to take too long to get results. That's what I mean when I say vehicle. Is what you are using to get what you want to get. Ballaholic says, great book, everybody check it out. Yes. I guess you got to be referring to the Mirror of Motivation. So shout out everybody who got the Mirror of Motivation. G1 says, how is revisiting? Look at the story. I told you. Belflor says, you got the bundle? It's on the way. Belflor, you should have got if you already ordered it, you should have got a shipping confirmation already. Craig says, what is entailed by driving the car fast? That means investing, Craig. That's masterclass number 609 at Work on Your Game University. There are 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. To drive the car fast, your vehicle fast, let's say you want to be a producer, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be an author, you want to be a school teacher, you must invest time, money, attention, energy, focus to find out if that is the right vehicle for you. You won't really know until you put in all the investment. Most people only go halfway in their investments. They never get all the results, and they never know if they were in the right vehicle or not. And then they use up all their time. Remember, time does not go on forever. Maybe time goes on forever. Your life doesn't go on forever. That's a better way of putting it. Money May says, did I buy a cheesesteak since I'm temporarily in Philly? Well, I'm actually from Philly, so I don't buy a cheesesteak when I go to Philly. That's what tourists do. I'm not a tourist in Philadelphia. Hoop Loudy says, would you recommend someone get a mentor or coach in entrepreneurship? And when would I recommend it? I would recommend them get it as soon as they know that there's some information that they don't have. Because there's probably going to be more. As soon as you realize there are things that you don't know that other people probably do know, that's when you would get it. When did I get mine? Let me see. Well, I started doing business full time in 2015. I had a mentor actually as soon as I started. And still have a business coach now to this day. Bell asks, what tools are best for a 14-year-old? Well, every 14-year-old is a unique individual person, so you would have to tell me something about them for me to answer that question. BGT, you got it now. Good. JFC, man, I watched you for a few years. I'm from Philly. Great seeing someone from Philly. Information is great. You can explain it clearly. Thank you very much. I got a lot of practice, JFC. I appreciate you listening. And shout out to everybody from Philly. Ball Hog says, vehicle thing makes more sense now. Thanks for the clarification. You're welcome. Jack Ryder said, what time is the live tomorrow? Whatever time we start it. It ain't no set time. Whatever time we do it, that's when the live's going to be. Yes, it is Eastern time, but it's not always the same time. Right now it's 11 o'clock at night. So it probably won't be this late tomorrow, but we don't know. Don't hold me to that. Ball Hog says, different breeds check in with the lives like these. We all going to get our bags. That's right. Buzz says, how do you get so well at speaking and incorporate the words you use? Well, first of all, I got about 10,000 hours of practicing and doing this between making YouTube videos, live streams, audio masterclasses, live actual speaking engagements, writing, reading. All of those things help my vocabulary and my speaking skills. So I got, how they say you got to have 10,000 hours to be proficient. I might have 20. I might have 20,000 hours at just speaking or just articulating myself, which is what you're asking about. I appreciate the compliment. JFC, appreciate you. You've been working on the vocals. 302 in the building, Dynamite Darius. Where's 302 at? Bell says he wants to create music, but he is shy. Man, well, let him experiment with the music. I mean, you don't have to be an extrovert to be a musician. That's the great thing about music. Depending on what kind of music he's doing. Now, if he's the singer, he might need to have some personality, but he's only 14. So, Bell, I'm not a parent, but if I was, I would give a 14-year-old a little bit of time to grow into who they are. He doesn't know who he is yet. 14 years old. So they may have a lot of personality that just didn't come out yet. It might come out when they're 18, but right now at 14, they're still figuring themselves out. So I wouldn't force that in any way. Jack says Celtics took an L. Yes, they did. Who inspired me in my life? I've done 5 virtual mentors episodes, JFC visuals. You can get all those at Work on Your Game University. Oh, Delaware. Shout out to Delaware. Ain't that where Joe Biden is from? Shout out to Joe Biden. I don't predict him winning in November, but I still shout him out. If he does win, I won't be mad. Listen, whoever wins the election in November, I'm gonna have plenty of content no matter what. I already know what I'm gonna say if Biden wins. I already know what I'm gonna say if Trump wins. So I just want one of them to win. All right, as long as somebody wins, I'm good. If Kanye wins, I got plenty to say for that too. So shout out to Joe Biden, shout out to Delaware. All right, so everybody, again, mirrorofmotivation.com. I didn't even bring the book with me. I'm traveling right now. But anyway, the website is right here, mirrorofmotivation.com. There's a whole lot of stuff you can see on this site. Obviously, I can't show you the site in one screen. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. You cover the shipping. I got a lot of content. I got a lot of books. I got a lot of products. We are streamlining all of this, working on that right now. If you haven't gone to WOYFG.com right now, get on the free call list and talk one-on-one with me. I'm going to ask the questions. All you do is answer them. But mirrormotivation.com is where you start. That's the first product of mine you should get. I made it free, so you don't even have to make a buying decision. All you do is cover the shipping. Get the book, mirrorofmotivation.com. Bell said, I'm good with politics. Yeah, I'm not into politics, but since people are talking about it so much, I relate it back to my philosophy, which is work on your game. I can take anything that happens and relate it back to work on your game. That is one of my skills. NDS says, why don't I support Trump? I don't have to prove a negative. The better question is, why would I support him if I did? But why don't I? It's like asking me, why don't I eat ice cream? I have to explain why I don't do something. That's not the way it works. You have to explain why you are doing something. But I made plenty of videos talking about it. I actually gave Trump props. I've given Trump props in multiple pieces of content. I talked about how he was a great salesperson. I talked about how MAGA was a great slogan. I actually said he's going to win the election. That's not me technically supporting him or endorsing him, but I have given him credit for where he has skills. Do I stay out of politics? I don't stay out of it. I'm just not interested. So there's a difference between staying out of it. Staying out of it is like you have something you want to say, but you don't say it because you don't want to get involved. That's not my issue. I'll talk about any subject. I'll talk about politics, sex, race, anything, sports. I'll talk about any topic. But I'm going to relate it all back to work on your game, as I do every single day on these lives. G1 said, I can only imagine you 10 years from now. Me too. Bell said, I listen to the podcast. That's what's up. Ballhog said, F Trump and Biden. Hey, you feel how you feel. You do that write-in vote for Kanye. He said he could beat Biden off write-ins. Kanye said that on Twitter like a month ago. So let's see if he doesn't. Ballhog says, on marketing tips for a startup, what can I suggest for marketing a b-ball training company? Well, the first thing you need to do is get clients. The best way you can market yourself is get clients and serve them as well as you can. That's the best marketing you can do for any business. Somebody said, do I participate in sports betting? No. Can I do a live about how to talk to females? I got a course on that. It's called Get the Girl. You can't sign up for it just yet, but once we finish streamlining the whole Work on Your Game system, you'll be able to take that course as part of the Work on Your Game system. So when that comes out, you'll be able to get that course and a whole bunch of other material all at once. Mirrormotivation.com is where y'all get the book for free. I'm answering a couple more questions, then we wrapping this up. He said, no, F Kanye too. Okay. Hey, vote for yourself. That's one thing everybody can do every day. Vote for yourself. Let's see. It seems like all Southern ball players come out of the South. Do I agree? I don't know what you mean by that. All Southern ball players come out of the South? Yeah, I need you to clarify what that means. NDS says, I'll be interested in that course. All right, well, the course already exists. We just don't have it available for signups right now. But once it is, you'll know about it. Are you on my NDS? As long as you're on my email list, you will get it. If you get my emails, then anything that comes available, you'll know about it. The people who know everything that's happening get it via email. I don't announce everything on the lives. Have I ventured into Forex? No. All right, Bill, I appreciate you. All right, everybody, I'm wrapping this live up. I'm doing these lives again tomorrow. We don't know what time, so just follow me on my story or just turn on notifications or whatever you need to do to make sure you are informed as to what's happening and when it's happening. Whenever it comes, it comes. Just be ready. Again, mirrorofmotivation.com. If you have not yet claimed your free copy of that book, get it before we run out of trees in the forest that we got to cut down to print more pages. Everybody work on your game. Have a good night. We out of here. Dre all day.